So the sun is the worst. I mean, other than perfect golden hours right early in the morning or almost before dusk, you're going to get some harsh light. But what do you do? Like, really? Do we just ignore those times? Do we not take photos at family events, weddings, other than the absolute perfect time? Well, obviously not. That's silly. But today we're going to be going over exactly how to edit photos when you are shooting in the harshest of light. We recently went to a Strongman event and you're looking at high noon. You couldn't have a much harsher light than this. But we were able to go from photos like this to like this. A much more appealing look, softer. We took out a lot of the harsh shadows and we made some awesome action shots. So without any further ado, let's get into it and show exactly how to change photos from dull and bright to stunning and ones that people are going to share and request. Okay, so here's our first picture. It looks horrible with how hard the sun is hitting him. So first thing, we're going to go in and we're going to make two masks right off the bat. We're going to do one for the subject, and it's going to take a minute to detect our subject. And then we're going to make a second one for the background. We're going to keep it easy. We're not going to worry about the guy behind him because that should fix itself up here. Our main focus is this guy. Actually, we'll work on the background first. Sorry. So first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to go to dehaze, which helps out already a ton, and we'll up the clarity, and that is looking better. You see there's some specks in there from the chalk. That's what they use basically to grip the implements, but that's neither here nor there. We're gonna up the saturation, and then we're gonna go up to here, which is our special sauce. We're gonna lower the highlights and bring it right down. As you can see, his head's not such a shiny beacon, which is perfect. You could also bring the whites down if you want, which also helps out a little bit. So the background is starting to look better. Now let's go into our main character of this picture. We're going to bring down the highlights on him. We're going to bring down the blacks. Increase the saturation just a touch. We're going to bring in some clarity. Dehaze him. Now you see he looks very dark. So first we're going to increase the shadows, which helps out, especially it brings up the shirt. We could bring in now the exposure up just a touch. As you can see, that helped. It brought the blue in his shirt up quite a bit, and it brought in the main character. And let's see here, if we want to get really fancy with it, we can go to select a color from the photo. Here there we go. Sorry, I wasn't quite thinking there. I clicked it a few times, and we can now make the glasses kind of stand out more if we want. We can make them brighter. We can increase the saturation, make them stand right out. I think that looks great. Okay. So you can go and mess with a few different things. We can go and bring back the contrast if we want to bring up the whites a little bit, or we can bring down the contrast if we want to bring the whites up, or we could bring the contrast up if we want the shirt more. I think we'll probably keep the contrast about the same. I think this is a perfect point for this photo. It really kind of made it easier on the eyes while also making the background nice and not super shiny. We can even put in a little texture. And then if we're feeling really fancy, we're going to go over to the main edit section up on the top, and we are going to now, we don't need to add a denoiser here because it's super bright, so we're like ISO 100, but we can sharpen up the photo itself a bit, which makes it look better. We'll do one more just for the culture. So here's another one. It's his victory pose on when he won this event. So we can go in if we want, we can adjust where, let's see, we kind of want him still in the middle because he is the main focus. We're going to zoom in just a little bit, crop in, and now we're going to go here. We're going to select the subject again. I really like this picture. This time it got this guy with it, which that's fine. I mean, you could be as picky or as not picky as you want with this. Again, this is just me kind of showing you what I do for things that are in super bright. We'll take the highlights down, we'll take the whites down, we'll take the blacks down, up the shadows, the exposure just a touch. We'll actually go and do the clarity, the dehaze. Now we're really bringing it dark, so we can bring that even just a bit more, which looks great. Bring the saturation up. We can even do the point colors, do the reds. Now this may change his head just a touch because it's a fairly red photo. But let's see here. Yeah, see, we're bringing it's changing the whole person, which is not really what we want. So we'll leave those for now. But he's a little clearer. Let's bring maybe the blacks just up just a touch. And now we'll make another one for the background. We'll go clarity, dehaze. And again, with the highlights, bring those down. Bring the whites down. Blacks even down. Shadows up. Exposure up just a touch. Perfect. And we can add even a little bit of texture, but I think that's looking pretty darn good. Let's go and we will add a bit of sharpening. This is one where lens blur, I mean, you can argue with or without it, because if you put the lens blur in, it might take him out, but he's kind of cool. Like, it adds to the story a little bit. They're happy, they're cheering for him, he's victorious. So we'll keep that exactly the way it is. And now, is there anything else that really steps out? I think that's good. I mean, you could even go and do an auto just to straighten it out just a little bit more. I think that is looking very, very good. So it's just a few edits. Like you see, again, you don't even have to be that crazy with the masking. If you really want to add a coup de grace, you can do a linear gradient, and this, you'll want to bring this around where the sun's kind of shining down. You can change temperature a bit so it's a little more warm or cool, depending on what you want your picture. I like warm personally. And we can take the highlights down again, ever working towards destroying the sun from our image. And that looks cool. It gives it a little bit of warmth without the horrible amount of whites, and it really makes for a cool image. And that's it. That's all there is to it.